and it is a state champion, Megan Hipple from McDonald, the 3,200-meter champion in track and field, the 71st state champion in that McDonald track and field running program. What a program they have, and the newest member of that great class is joining us. Megan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
When I say state champion, just go through how that feels and how that makes you feel.
Right now it's like still a little like unreal. Today I hung my name in our hallway as the 71st state champ, so it's starting to set in, and it's just like crazy.
Megan, first off, congratulations. From a standpoint of, those who came before you, you always grow up looking at those names and looking at that hallway and hoping that someday you can hang your name there. Was it surreal to be able to really make that a reality, a dream come true for you?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, especially that I stopped my 7th lap and then had to keep going.
When you think about growing up in this program and running in junior high under McDonald, and everyone knows how successful it's been, I mean, what does it take to get to this point, and how much did you kind of look up to this program and kind of dream of being in this spot when you were little growing up into it?
Actually, I wasn't like into running when I was younger. I'd always played like soccer when I was younger, and then I switched to running my 7th grade year. And I really wasn't sure what I was doing, but as I like started to go on, I kind of realized, oh, I want to make something out of this. And
All
like,
right, oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, you're good.
So help me out with this, because I'm not a runner unless I have to be. How does someone entice you to go from soccer to running in 7th grade?
I don't really know. I just remember running in middle school PE, and I really enjoyed it, and I decided that I was going to try cross country. And then cross country turned to track, and then it just has led to every season since then.
It's got to be an insane work ethic to get to where you've been. Tell us about kind of your routine and your work ethic and what drives you to push yourself as much as you do to get to this point.
I always want, for me, my drive is to always like, there's always a record I can get, and like I can always beat my own record again. And for me, that's what keeps me going to like constantly get better.
So here's a question from beyond. Ty Bartel says, when did it first hit you that you were the state champ?
Like it started to hit me a little bit when I was standing on the top of the podium and just looking at like the crowd at Jesse Owens, and it was just crazy. It didn't feel real.
Second follow-up question is when you're running, do you like think about music? Like what calms you down to run? Like what do you focus on? For me, it's always, I'm thinking about going from one destination to the next. Like I'm not thinking about the journey. I'm thinking about the finish line. Is that the same for you, or do you find comfort in running?
I kind of find comfort when I'm racing. I'm obviously a little bit more nervous, but for me, like my comfort is like if I can just build a gap, I can get comfortable, and then I know that I just have to do what I know that what I can do. So,
talking about those nerves, how big were they when you got into Columbus, and what did you do to kind of battle them?
They honestly weren't bad when I got into Columbus. It wasn't until we like walked into the Jesse Owens facility the second day that they were like real, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. But to like stay calm, I just didn't think about it, honestly. I just like distracted myself as best I could.
Do you like establishing like the pace of the race, or do you like kind of playing catch up late in the race? Because I know you said that, establishing that gap is huge for you, but do you find yourself like peeking over your shoulder, looking at people behind you, or do you rather have them in your sights and catch them right at the end?
I definitely like to lead the race, and like I want to be the one that sets the pace, but I've had some good races where I've caught people too. It just depends on the day I'm having, I guess.
I imagine being a distance runner, you had to learn to pace yourself and learn the rhythm of a race and to learn to when to take those chances and things like that. How did you kind of mold into a good distance runner rather than a sprinter?
Well, I don't have very much foot speed at all. So I guess just like I started to realize that I could go fast for a longer period of time versus really fast in a short period of time. And that's when I realized that I was just going to stick to distance.
Was The Tortoise and the Hare one of your favorite books growing up as a distance runner?
I'd actually never read that book.
In all seriousness, I mean, being a distance runner, it takes a lot of patience. Where did you learn your patience from? Did it come from someone in your family? Did it just come from having to learn it on your own? Where did that come from?
The patience for running, like, honestly, once you start running, you build your own patience. It's like patience with running is a different kind of patience.
We have another question from Ty Bartell in the comment sections. He asked, what of your coaches and teammates that have had the biggest impact on your career and your journey?
So my coach, Robin Kapauko, she's my cross country coach. She's always pushed me to like be my best and to like set records. And she just, every season I get better there. And then my track coach, Mr. D, he's always there to push me, and he encourages me to try to run with the boys if I can keep up and all that good stuff.
So for those who don't know you, Megan, you're obviously very good at running long distance. What are some other things that you really, put a feather in your cap for? What are things you're really good at?
I mean, running is definitely my like strongest spot. Actually, running's like my only really hobby. I don't really do much other than run. It takes up a large part of my schedule.
How much do you run on a weekly basis?
During like the peak of the summer, I'll run upwards to like 55 miles a week.
Oh.
Then the highest mileage I ran was just about 40 miles a week.
I was a baseball player, so 90 feet at a time always did it for me. So I admire the 55 miles a week. That is ridiculous. I mean, is it like Book It where like you get like certain awards for how many miles from your cross country coach or maybe your track coach?
No, not quite.
Not even a pat on the back?
No, the reward is, doing stuff like winning state and winning meets of all kinds.
Fair enough.
It's a pretty big reward. Obviously, you're a student athlete as well, so I want to talk about the student aspect of things a little bit. What's your favorite subject in school, and what's your favorite thing to study?
My favorite thing to study is any of like the science courses. I love like anything with like anatomy, all those kind of things. Like this year, I really enjoyed chem. It was good.
Is that something you want to use when you further your career, something in the sciences?
I mean, maybe. I haven't really decided what I want to do in my future yet, but doing something in science would be interesting for me.
What did 5-year-old Megan want to do when she grew up?
I wanted to be a chef and to bake and cook all the time.
Is that still on the table? Do you still bake and cook?
I mean, I would, but I don't know if I would bake. I would definitely cook. But
what's the best dish you cook right now?
I don't really cook that often. My mom does most of it, but I like know how to do a lot of things. Like I can make my own pasta sauce from scratch. Like
wow.
That stuff.
All right. So what's mom's best dish?
I don't know. She makes white chicken chili. That's pretty good.
Well, we're talking about food. What's the go-to dessert, the guilty pleasure dessert that you have to go to? I know you probably try to keep yourself as healthy as possible, but there's got to be something that softens that sweet tooth a little bit.
Usually ice cream or cheesecake. Those get me.
Who makes the best ice cream?
Oh, I don't know. Handles or Katie's Corner are like my favorites.
Is there like a go-to? Is there like a flavor? Sorry, Ann, I know you were going to ask this question.
Yeah, we were on the same page.
Oreo, that's one of my favorites.
What is that?
It's like Oreos and cookie dough mixed together. It's really
That's right up your alley, Anthony.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, so I'm gonna give you one to try. Do you like fruit, like fruity flavors?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this. Rich Morgan, who was a longtime weatherman here in the area, told me this one time, and I thought it was disgusting until I tried it. Grape ice cream from Handel's.
Yes, I've heard of that, and I've seen it there. I don't know. That's weird.
Do you have the same phobia that I do when you go up to a Handel's? You get so much pressure. Like I usually get cherry vanilla all the time, right? And then I want to try something different and just cherry. I get up there and they're like, Can I help you? Cherry vanilla. Like I want to say grape, but I can't. So if there was one flavor that you wanted to try and haven't, is it grape? And if it's not, what is?
I mean, I definitely would try grape. I just like there's like a blue moon or something that I could never try that. That's just I don't know. I should try it, but I have never tried it.
I know Handles has a ton of flavors, but if their marketing department came to you and said, "We want you to make a new flavor," is there anything that you like think would make a really good ice cream flavor that you haven't seen yet?
Oh, I don't know. That's hard. I'm like content with ice cream as it is, so coming up with another flavor would be hard.
Anthony, you're the master of utilizing last names. I mean, Hipple has to be a perfect last name for an ice cream. Too hip to do something. Too hip to sip. Too hip to trip. All right. So from the athletic and student perspective, and Megan, there's a lot that goes into your career already, and obviously you're barely scratching the surface on what we think you can do here. Who has been an inspiration to you along the way that you really think deserves a little bit of a shout out here, whether family, friends, or otherwise? Who really keeps you going?
Both my coaches, Mrs. Falco and Mr. D, they just keep me going all the time, and they're always encouraging me to get to that next level. So those two are definitely my biggest like inspirations and driving forces.
Oh, Ty's got it. Ty nailed it. There it is. Hipple Ripple. There it is.
What are some things that you do outside of track that you would describe as hobbies or things that you do to take your mind off for the competition when you need to?
I like to bike a lot. Sometimes I'll like walk my dog. I hang out with my family and like my friends. McDonald's kids love to play volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll do that. Just like I like to be outside and I like that kind of stuff.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I actually listen to like all kinds. It's always like changing, and I never have like a set like kind of music I listen to.
All right, so you got one ticket to go to any concert, anytime, any era. What ticket are you cashing in on?
I really like Mac Miller. I would love to see Mac Miller play something, obviously, but like, I'd be fine going anywhere.
Ty Bartel asks, what's some advice that you would give to younger runners that are now looking up to you on that podium?
Listen to your coaches. They do know what they're doing. Even if you like aren't seeing results, you're gonna see them in the long run. And just don't overtrain. You just gotta listen to your body, really.
Was there ever a time earlier in your career where your coach was trying to tell you something and you thought they were nuts, but now you realize, okay, that this makes sense?
Yeah, this year I was really stuck. I was stuck running in the 11s for the longest time, and I just could not break 11. And I really I didn't think I was going to get there this year, and I was really upset. But Mr. D, my like track coach, he kept promising that I was going to get there, and I did.
Obviously, your coaches mean a lot to you. Who are some of the runners that came before you that kind of put their arm around you, and who are some of the runners that you've put your arm around, saying, "Hey, we can do this together. You can be every bit as good as I can, and maybe even better."
So some of the runners like I've like helped, I think I've helped out and like tried to like encourage as much as I can. Emily Kowecki, she's a freshman this year. Mariah Breger, she's a sophomore. She'll be a junior this fall, like coming up for cross. Lily Capizello, just some of those. Some of the older runners that I like looked up to. Anna Guerrera, she was at McDonald's and she was really good for a very long time. Vinnie Mari from Howland, he set some crazy records. So yeah, people like that.
Who wins in family game night when you guys get together to be competitive as a family?
Usually my brother, my younger brother.
Do you guys have like a go-to game of the family that you guys like to play?
Uno Flip. That's a good game.
You got to be no mercy with those draw fours.
No.
All right. So when you were on the podium, what was going through your mind?
Well, on the podium, it was really hot, and I was just telling myself, "Don't pass out right now. That would be so embarrassing."
I love it.
And then I was like, "You really just did that." I was thinking, like, how excited I was to see both of my coaches after, and like to see my teammates. and like all my family and like friends.
Was it equal to what you thought it would be like in your head before you actually accomplished it?
Well, in my head, I never thought that I would win state. I never thought that, like, I thought, oh, second maybe I could get, but I never thought I would win like that. And so it was just like a surreal feeling. Like, it's still a little like unreal that I even won state, but it's starting to sink in.
We're all very proud of you, Megan. Congratulations.
And we have your coach on, and before we let you go, I want to pop him on so we can get like a last thoughts from you guys. Coach, before we start your main interview, you have any kind of things you want to say about Megan over here that describe how proud you are of what she's been able to accomplish this year?
Megan sometimes is her own worst critic. She's very tough on herself, like a lot of great athletes are. I mean, it's never good enough. And Megan, I just want to let you know it is good enough now. And,
Yeah.
and you accomplished a goal that you set out to achieve, and that alone, reaching goals is a difficult thing, especially when you set the bar so high for yourself. She is disciplined in all that she does, both in the classroom and out of the classroom, getting up before school and doing workouts and getting in the mileage that she needs to do. And then I get to see her this past year, first period. She's never late. She's on time to class. She does what she's supposed to do inside of the classroom, and then she's ready to go after school as well.
Megan, thank you so much for your time joining us today. I'm sure you have a run to get to at some point today. And we appreciate the time, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon. Congratulations on being a state champion.
Thank you. Bye.
Congratulations.